Let's go ahead and get rolling here though, because you guys have other things to do. Guys and gals have other things to do. So let's take a look. I'm going to share my screen. I want you to see what I'm looking at. So first thing I did, of course, messed that up. Now it goes up to the top. So first thing I did is I went to the SDAR website and then I logged in. Okay. Here is the link where I logged in, and what I'm going to do today is show you how to use Faststats. You're going to be a pro. We don't even need a whole hour to do this. You're going to have this down in about 15 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to go down here and I'm going to click on Faststats. See that right there? So San Diego has created the single sign-on page, and so I really like this. I mean, I can get into the MLS here. I can get to zip forms here. I can get to just all these different RPR. I can get all these things. So I'm going to click on Faststats. It's going to take me to housing statistics. I'm going to scroll down to the links that are on this page. Now, I'm going to give you a little secret here too. So first of all, you see all these things, all of these buttons, ignore them. I'm the first guy that will always tell you when you've got stuff in the program that you're not going to ever use. And this is just my style, folks. I mean, there's certain things like in zip forms, half the stuff you're never going to use it. And I know because I use it deep and I use the broker version. So same thing happens here. All these links all take you to the same place. So whether I click on local market updates right here or monthly indicators or housing supply or foreclosure report, they're all going to take me to the same place. Everybody see where I am here? Yes, you can. Okay. All right. So they all take you to the same place. Don't worry about that. Okay. And I'm going to show you how to use the program in just a second. But one of the things I want you to do, and of course, Mr. Professor here, I'm going to give you a homework assignment. One of the things that I want you to do is I want you to click on this PDF that says custom branding instructions, because it actually contains some pretty good information on how to brand it, because I think you're going to use this. You're going to email these to people. You're going to, and feel free, right? You're going to email them to people, and you're going to, you want to be talking, you want to be bragging about you, okay? So you're just going to click on this, and when I click on it, and again, I'm trying this on the new computer, so nothing will work, right? That's how it's supposed to go. One of the things I am going to do is I am going to move all of this down to the bottom instead of the top, because that I have better control over. Okay, so this is supposed to download a PDF, and that'll have instructions in there for how to do it, okay? All right, so I'm not going to play with that, right now. I'm going to get out of that field, and I want to get back to what we're talking about. Okay, so, but that's going to be your homework assignment. Go ahead and brand the product to you. If you've got Adobe Pro 11, that's a really good program. I don't know what they did after that, but let's go into now, let's find out about how am I going to use this program, okay? So now so I'm going to click on local market update. Again, it doesn't matter which 4 I click on, they're all going to take me to the same place. If you look on the left side of your screen, you see local market updates. Underneath it, you see monthly indicators. Underneath that, housing supply overview, and underneath that, lender mediated report. Okay, so let's talk about that. You got a couple of ways. Once I've gotten into here, now I got to pick the area that I want to work. And so obviously there's this great big map in the middle of the page for you, okay, which I'm going to say, hey, you know what, you probably could use that, okay, a map in the middle of the page. All right, so and you can go you hover over a link, you can see what the different areas are. This again is all of San Diego County, but I can break it down to North County Coastal, North County Inland, Central, which by the way includes La Jolla and Del Mar. I'm sorry, Central Coastal, and so you can do it. This is one way to do it. Okay, now let's go ahead and click on one. So I'm going to click on Central Coastal, and it's going to pop up a map. It's going to drill me down even deeper. And it's going to say, okay, which area do you want? And I'm going to click on, I don't want, let's do La Jolla. What the heck? Okay, I'm going to click on La Jolla, and boom, here's all the information already ready for you. Okay, I'm going to make this the image a little larger. I'm going to go now. I want to go back to my Faststats. The only reason, I'm going to explain to you how the report works and how to read it in a minute. But let's go back to my Faststats. So that was one way for me to get there. The other way for me to get there would be go into here and click on select an area. So I can pull in 92037. Of course, that doesn't work. I can go down, find La Jolla. All right. I just had to do this the hard way. Again, if you're just focusing on the one area, and it's going to be based on what we've done in your MLS. So there's 92037, there's La Jolla. I can do most recent report, or I can go back months and months and months. And I'm going to tell you that I get one every month with statistics that are even bigger than this, which is kind of interesting stuff. And I'm more than happy to send that to you if you want. Kevin at BurkeRealEstateConsultants.com. Just send me an email. Happy to send it to you. But I like the most recent one, and that's what I get the most call to do. So I go to the individual pitch sessions around the county, and I do I show them how to use this program, and actually they don't even want me to show them how. They want me to just give them data. Okay, fine. I'm going to give you data. So here we go. I've got La Jolla in here. And remember, I already had the report up here, but now watch what's going to happen. Same result. View report. There it is. Local market update. Okay, for La Jolla. And it's going to give me June, obviously, because we're in July. Somebody asked me once, they said, well, how frequently do you update it? And the answer is we do them rolling month to month, right? But you know, the July one will come out when we get like a couple of days into August. They're really quick about it, so you get it fast. And again, if you want the bigger version, I'll email it to you, but you got to send me an email, okay? All right. Okay, I'm just looking at your settings. Oh, interesting. Okay, all right. You're viewing SDR education screen. Okay, so 92037, La Jolla, and then I'm going to go down here. Let's take a look at my data. I'm going to have, first of all, I'm going to have single family homes. Everybody see that? Single family. Underneath that, I'm going to have townhouses and condos. So you know that the first part of it is going to be detached. The second part is going to be attached, right? Okay, and then down here, I get pretty little graphics to send people. Some people just really like graphics. Look at the housing prices in La Jolla. This is crazy. Okay, all right. So let's take a look at how do I read my data. I need to move my image out of here a little bit. Or wait a minute, I can just minimize it all together. There you go. I don't need to see myself. Okay, so here's La Jolla. So what are my key metrics? So notice on your screen it says June. And then over here it says year to date. So of course, when we're reading graphs, or charts, we always want to take a look and see what my headings are. What is my legends going to say? Okay, so over here on the left, this column is 2019, June 2019. This is June 2020. So this is comparing the month of June. So the last year's June compared to this year's June. Okay, and then I go over here year to date to get what does it look like since the beginning of this year? See the bold column in the middle versus the beginning of last year to this time last year. Okay, and so then over here, I'm going to look at my, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. I'm going to make it so that I can actually read the data. So first of all, how many new listings? Well, in June of last year, I had 69 new listings in the month. This year, June, we have 63. So we have just a little bit less. So folks, that's pretty impressive considering that we keep bouncing in and out of the pandemonium thing, right? Okay, down 8.7%. But what about my year to date? My year to date is even, is again going to be impacted by what were we out? March, April, May, June. And then now we're having our recovery. It looks like here that this is a bit of a recovery. And folks, just for a little background, I do trial work as an expert witness on market conditions, and I like this program. It's a pretty cool little program, okay? All right, so down 18% year to date. I use other programs as well, right? RPR, things like that. Okay, pending sales. So in June of last year, there were 34 pending sales. Look at this number. We're up to 39 pending sales this month, and compared to last year in June, we're up 14.5%. That's pretty significant. But we're down year to date from what we were in last year, 23%. Okay, and this is only in La Jolla, all right, which is kind of a weird market. I probably should have picked something a little more representative of San Diego, but it's like my home's in Del Mar. In Del Mar, nobody's got mortgages, right? So they can't double what they paid for the place. They just won't sell it. Okay, all right, question. Gotta scroll down here. We got a bunch of questions. Daniel, hey Daniel, can you get statistics for more than one unit? In other words, duplexes, 2 or more homes on one lot, etc. That's a really good question. Not on this program. So this program won't give it to you. But if you want, send me an email and I will forward it to the powers that be, and we'll get you the answer to your question. Okay, it's a pretty neat little program. I'm sure somebody out there wants to sell you the big version of it. But for me, you know, since that's such a specific question, I might end up having to do that in the multiple listing service. Okay, closed sales, and again, I'm focusing on this for right now only because I'm not going to do this for every zip code. Now we get an idea, right? Closed sales. There are 35 closed sales last year in June. This year there were 34. Now think about that, almost exactly the same number of closed sales. So for those of us who are complaining about how bad the market is and all that kind of stuff, I'm going to tell you, you know what, go ahead and complain, but at the end of the day, not going to be, I'm not going to listen to you. So from beginning of the year, last year until this date, 174, but look at that, down 25%, so down a quarter total. So the month was really strong compared to last year this month, but the year to date has obviously we're going to have to recover from what we just went through, and so I wouldn't expect those numbers to be really high. We'd have to have some amazing numbers. Okay, look at my median sales price, $1,960,000 last year. It's up 16% to 2.2875 this year. My median sales price, right? So that means 50% above, 50% below, right in the center. Okay, and that's what that number is going to represent. That's why the media likes to use median rather than mean, right? They don't want to take the average sales price. That would be the mean sales price. They want to take the median. Okay, because it sells more papers. So, you know, again, I always have believed that I can use statistics to say anything I want it to say, and that's what we're going to do here. So look at the year to date, though. Prices are up year to date by 4.9%, and look from the year to year, month to month from last year, up 16%. So look, we're making a pretty steady recovery. Now, this is always an interesting statistic. What is my percentage of original list price received? And somebody asked me a good question. They said, is that after the modification, after the price reduction, whatever? I don't know what you all are calling it. What are we calling them now? Not price reductions. We're calling them price adjustments or something crazy like that. You know, it's a reduction. Okay, you got the listing, but you knew you were probably a little high. You need to maybe get that down a little bit. So my last year in June, I was getting 91.1%. This year in June, I'm getting 92.6%. Close to sales, that close to listing price. Okay, all right. And then last year, so that's up 1.6%. But my year to date versus last year's year to date, I'm getting 94.1%, which is 0.6% increase. Okay. Days on the market until sale. This is always telling. So remember, there was a time when we were 6-day market time. The average, according to NAR, is 9 months, right? So when we're running 96 days, that's heavy for us. But this means that if we put a property on the market and we price it properly, we can expect that it will sell within this period of time. So 63 days last June, 60 days this June. That's pretty interesting, right? Given the economy the way that it is. But folks, let me tell you, I'm looking at people's leaderboards and I'm seeing amazing transactions happening. So make sure you're getting a piece of that action. Year to date is up 0.6%. Up 5.7%. Days on the market, so it's increased a little bit. I think that's actually a pretty good number. Okay, inventory of homes for sale this year, last June we had 211. This June we have 155, so we're down roughly a quarter. And then again, another very important piece of information: my month supply of inventory is last year in June was 7.4 months. This year it's 6.2. So in other words, if we stop taking listings, we're going to be out of property in 6.2 months. Okay, all right. So That's an important number to know. That's actually kind of a scary number to know because we need to have inventory, all right? And then again, for the client that you have that likes looking at pretty pictures with, you know, nice blues and reds and colors like that on it, you can see, you know, how La Jolla fares relative to the whole overall MLS. So you can see that La Jolla is a little more sporadic, and this would be how I would explain this to a client, but it's a little bit more sporadic, and it's you know, versus our economy in general. Notice that it's just constantly going up, right? Okay, it's just our median price home, I think now is 585 in San Diego County. So those are good numbers to have. And again, please feel free to send this result to people as you create it. Send it to people, but please do not send them the link to how to get it. Okay. All right. So those are my local market updates, and I can go back. I can click on the back button, and I can look in East County, and it's going to give me all these. Everybody see what I'm doing? So this gives you some. I mean, like I told you, this isn't. You know, it's going to be tough. We're going to have to stretch this to make it go an hour. All right. Is everybody following me? Okay. I want to make sure that if you have any questions, that you let me know. Because I have some more stuff to show you. Okay, all right, seeing none. I'm going to go to my monthly indicators. All right, when I click on my monthly indicators, now my monthly indicator is going to be San Diego County. There is no subsection to this. So, you know, but again, I like to look at a barometer of how this works. You know, I've got 41 years in real estate. Sometimes I just lick my finger and put it up in the air and, you know, whatever way the wind is going, right? So, and it's like, wow. I mean, there's some, you know, I want to know the county generally. So I can look at either my most recent report, or I can go back. I can go back a long time, folks. Look how far back the data goes. The data goes back into 2014. I wish I had this when I was doing a couple trials back then. I'm going to click on my view report, and let's take a look at my view report and see what this gives me, the result that this gives me. So now I'm looking, this is going to be much more lengthy, okay? So now I'm looking at my June 20, and I'm looking at the 1-year change in closed sales for all properties, down 6.7%. The 1-year change in the median sales price is up 2.4%. The 1-year change in homes for sale is down by almost half. Okay, and that's all of San Diego County. So a minute ago, we used La Jolla just as a way of, you know, teaching how to read the program. But when I look at the county in general, the sales are down almost half of what they were last year. Now, remember, you're in July, and the pandemonium hit us in what, end of February. So March, April, May, June. So that's a pretty significant amount. We would expect to see this kind of result. So I might not use this if I was talking to an individual client, but obviously if I show that the numbers of sales are down, then maybe that'll help me get that price reduction at the time I take the listing, rather than, and again, I'm a practitioner like you, so, you know, it's like for me, I want to get that price low enough. One of the things that I have said that some of you all have thought was pretty good was, do you want to price your property high and wait for the market to come to you, okay? Or do you want to price it low and create your own market, right? And so, you know, I'll price a property properly, and I'll get 5-10 offers. We went multiple offer on a property in Mission Beach, and went multiple offer on it. You know, it sat for a couple of months, but then all of a sudden 2 offers in the same day. So that's what we're starting to see again generally in our industry. So let's take a look. There's some really good explanations over here on the left-hand side for you to read. So, you know, this is kind of your narrative. Closed sales decreased 7% for detached homes and 6.2% for attached home. Pending sales increased, and we're starting to see that happen now in June. Okay, so we're definitely in the recovery mode. Buyer activity continues to be robust. Seller activity continues to be a bit softer. So in other words, we're just not seeing as many listings. And so I would like to encourage you that if you want to be a listing agent, now is a really good time to be a listing agent. Okay, I would get it going now. Okay, in fact, I've got some of our brokers in our office that I need to get them to get back to work. But anyway, so what's my detached market overview? And we're going to talk about some of these numbers here in a minute. Let me scroll down a little bit, and we can hit that. So here's my detached market overview. And again, pretty graphs, things like that. I've got new listings. And so essentially the data that we looked at earlier, for La Jolla, we're going to have the same kind of thing, generally speaking, throughout all of San Diego County. I've got my new listings. I've got, what is this, June of 18 versus June of 19. June of 20, and so my numbers are going to be down as far as new listings are concerned, and down 20%, down 23%. Okay, everybody got that? Pending sales, look at this. Pending sales in 2020 are spiking, all right, and that's because, you know, there's all that pent-up demand, and it was interesting because during that time when we had, you know, that you know, people were just pulling their properties off the market because of all this stuff going on. I don't want people in my house, whatever, and so the problem was the buyer demand continued unabated, and so, you know, so now there were less listings, buyer demand, and so those listings were going away, and the ones that were current. What a great time that was for people to be able to maybe sell something that wasn't sellable otherwise. But now we've got this resurgence of properties coming back on the market, so that now we've got more inventory, and so you're going to start seeing some more sales. So here's my pending sales, pretty good little spike after being down quite a bit. That's building. Look at that. It's almost what, 3-4 times, and then double again. Closed sales starting to rocket up again there. Median sales price definitely up. None, you know, none of this is down. This is San Diego County in general. So median sales price last year was $670,000. This year it's $687,000. Folks, I remember selling my first home I sold in Del Mar was $250,000. Okay, that was back in 1987, 88. And so I'm going to tell you that, you know, that we've gone 3 times that. It's just a great investment. Average sales price, I already told you that that's going to be a different number than median. Average, of course, I'm going to take all of the sales, I'm going to take all the prices, add everything up, put them in the mixer, and now I'm going to come up with, you know, where the middle of that would be, total pricing. So number of dollar volume of closed sales. Look at this. These are pretty good numbers. And again, I look at my graph and it's spiking again. Okay, percentage of original price received. We're making a recovery now on that. Days on the market. Days on the market until the sale. So like last year we were at 28 days. This year we're at 26 days. So this is San Diego County in general. Year to date it was 34 days. We're now down to 28 days, which means look out, because here it comes. Our days on market is decreasing again, and that doesn't bode well for us because there just isn't going to be anything to buy. All right. Okay. We stopped talking about housing affordability a long time ago. It's almost impossible to buy a home, but some people are figuring out how to do it, right? So those are going to be that's why that number is important. When I look at my housing affordability index, it's up 7.8% right now, up 5.7%. So remember that our housing affordability is going to be based on, you know, the buyer who has 20% to put down, has certain FICO score, and so that's where we get our housing affordability from. Do they have employment that will substantiate them being able to buy the house? So houses are just a little bit more affordable now than they were before, and I think that's really good news. But look, we've had some really ugly numbers. Look down here. I mean, we've had some really bad numbers. I remember doing an interview for Fox News back in 2001. And at that time, they asked me about the housing affordability index in San Diego. We had dropped down to 19%. And I said, yeah, I know, but San Francisco just dropped down to 9%. And so now San Francisco's at like 6% housing affordability, and we're somewhere in about the 14% range, which means only 14% of the people that live in San Diego County can afford to buy their own home back. And so that's just, you know, you know, I was talking with another broker this morning about, and I don't know if Mary, you're on here, but about, you know, the mass exodus of people leaving California. It's a real deal. I mean, it's like, wow, phenomenal numbers. But of course, they're coming in as fast as they're going out. So, you know, how are you accounting for that type of market? The inventory, look at my inventory. Poof, down by half. All right, that inventory is a really crushing number. My monthly supply of inventory down by half. I mean, we're in trouble, right? I mean, look at these numbers. I mean, we need to get back to work, so to speak. I always use that as a note of encouragement. So here's my attached market overview. Again, you can go through all of that. Here's my breaking down now, my new listings. And so look, here's June. And so the blue are my detached homes, the red are my attached homes. The attached homes tend to represent more entry-level housing, and so we need those numbers to be strong. Right now, the detached homes are a stronger market than the attached homes are, but as we start having housing affordability problems, now we'll start to see those red rise and the blue, and then come to some kind of parity at some point. All right, historical new listings by month, not hysterical new listings. Look at these numbers. Wow. Okay, so again, take some time to read through this. I don't want to run out of time on you here. Pending sales. You know, this is what I'm always looking at. I mean, I'm in a great business, right? I'm in a business that says nobody cares what you did back then. They only care about what you're doing today. So how many pending sales do you have? You need to be in this group, right? You need to be having closings. So I know in our company, we're having a hell of a month. So excuse my language. Here's my historical pending sales by month. And you can see that it is a volatile curve. Closed sales, my numbers of closed sales in June are you know, here's my numbers for my detached, my numbers for my attached, and then my year to date. So essentially, they've taken that spreadsheet that we saw before and made it into little graphics, so you don't have to actually do that. Now, if you've got Adobe Pro, you can probably take some of these out of here and use the ones that you want to use. Median sales price, obviously continuing to increase. I don't see any change coming to that, not in the near future. Here's my number down here. My median sales price is up 2.5% since June for detached homes, and then it's up 3.0% for my attached homes, and that's my year-over-year change. Okay. All right, and then median sales price. Well, I'm not going to. Should I go through all these things? I don't think I need to go through all these. What I'd like to do is at least have you look at it, go through it, and then I want to go on to my lender mediated transactions. I'm going to show you some interesting information. But dollar volume of my closed sales, percent of original list price received. Look at this. Our numbers are just strong. I mean, they really are. Question, how do you email the statistics to a client without sending them the link? Okay, well, thank you, Daniel. That's a really good question. So here's what we faced as an issue a couple of weeks ago. We found that people were able to go on to SDAR's homepage without logging in and being able to look up their own stuff. And so we had an agent actually send that link to people. And unfortunately, I think by now we've put that behind the firewall. But remember, this is a member benefit of being a member of the San Diego Association of Realtors, and so we want to give you that member benefit. We're not intending to give it to the entire world, and so that's what was happening. So what you would do is, as you get so like I'm in this one right here, I can go ahead and email them this stat from here. I'm just not going to email them the link from the homepage. Okay. All right. I guess these numbers here can't get much higher, right? I mean, they're at 98.6% here, 98.4. I mean, you know, you're getting close to 100. No, you can't go over 100. Look at these. Look at this. Right. Okay. Days on the market until sale. How long is my market time? But again, that one right along with my housing affordability index. Housing affordability at this moment looks like it's increasing kind of nicely. But look, it's not been good. This is going to go back to 2013 and you know, essentially a steady decline. You know, it may very well be that this is right here is COVID. So you know, you're seeing a spike of housing affordability here, and that's good for some people, right? Inventory of homes for sale. Boy, look at that. 2020 not looking good. Half. You know, not looking good. Okay, so we don't have enough inventory, and so, you know, when I go on a listing appointment, I tell the seller, you know, we don't have enough inventory. We can get you a good price for your house, but you also don't want to increase that days on market time, because then you know, you may end up reducing the price to what, you know, for down to below what you could have gotten if you had priced it right to begin with. And that's how I always do my listing appointments. So monthly supply of inventory, again, seriously depleted. We just don't have a lot of inventory, and that's going to create some problems for us as an industry. We need more inventory. Okay. Total market overview, once again, looking at the data across the board, that should be pretty helpful for everybody. I saw a question pop up there. Are you saying you would download it, then email it? Yes, that's what I would do. I'm using, well, I actually am using Chrome here. I teach at the university, obviously, and lawyers. I'm not very nice to them. But anyway, I wasn't able to get it to work in Edge. So what I would say is, Daniel, to answer your question, I would go ahead and download or click on the link to get yourself you can email the link to this. So notice up here at the top, SDAR stats, 10K, you know, research. You know, it's okay to send that link, but don't send them the link to get into the program itself. Okay. All right, let's switch gears here. So now we've covered local market updates, and thank you, Daniel, that was a good question. Let's look at my local market updates. I'm gonna go ahead and close those two windows. And I wanna go down to my housing supply overview, which again is gonna give me a big picture look at San Diego County. And you know, I'm going to click on that. It's going to automatically generate the report for me. So this is the entire county for as far as housing supply is concerned. It's interesting, the statistic about the price range with the strongest pending sales is $1,250,000 to $2 million. When you consider the fact that the median price home is what do we say, 658, something like that. It's pretty interesting to me that it is stronger in the higher price ranges right now. This is a problem that we faced in August of 05. In August of 05, when the high end just plain stopped selling, we then realized, oh my gosh, the low end, the entry level housing had stopped 2 years earlier. And so we'd never really paid any attention to it because all of our high numbers were still selling. It made our economy, it made it look good to us on a graph that, housing prices were up, everything was doing fine, that kind of thing. But unfortunately, we neglected to consider that we need the entry level housing in order to substantiate the move up housing, those that are moving up into, selling their entry level housing to move up into other housing, higher price range housing. So, but we had literally have lost sight of the fact that our low end had completely come to a stop. Okay. Anonymous, we covered that in the very beginning. You're gonna, and I'll go back to it. Okay. I'll show you in just a second. Okay. But thank you for asking the question. There's a link on the page that says customize it. So if I go back to here, right here, you see, can you see right there, it says custom branding instructions. You just click on that and you'll go ahead, you'll be able to do it. Okay. All right. Thank you. Good question. So back to my housing supply overview, the home sizes, if that's going to be important to you, I don't know, with the strongest pending sales are 4,000 to 6,000 square feet, right? So that's kind of interesting. The property type with the strongest pending sales are my condos and townhomes. Like I said, that has to be strong because it tends to be more entry-level housing. It tends to be the lower price range that is building. So, and that's good for us. We need to have that happen. But like I said earlier, we were really taken by surprise in August of 05 when all of a sudden everything came to a grinding halt. The high end stopped selling, consumer confidence went down, and then the next thing you know, we've got a problem. Okay, so here are my pending sales, and again, this is, you keep it in perspective, my housing supply overview. So here are my pending sales. These are scary numbers, okay? And again, this is all of San Diego County. Here are my closed sales, also down. And again, now I'm regretting that I shouldn't have shown you La Jolla. I should have shown you an area that's more representative of the market, because La Jolla is not necessarily representative of the market. You know, that's it's kind of a niche market. So median sales prices have continued to increase. You can look here by square footage, you can look by property type, percentage of original list price received, again, all of San Diego County, by price range, by square footage. You know, you've got all kinds of ways to look at your data. Days on market until sale, by price range, by square footage. Some of this, you all be really good at, you know, use some of this information. Inventory of homes for sale by price range, and that's an interesting statistic, versus by square footage. I just think that those are good numbers to be able to use. My monthly supply of inventory, once again, is a scary thing. I'm kind of concerned about that, but that's just the nature where I am. Okay, let's take a look now. First of all, any questions on any of that? Because I'm going to jump into my lender mediated report. Not seeing any. Anonymous, were you able to find what I was talking about? Okay, I'm going to minimize that. Let me go now to my lender mediated report. So again, same kind of deal. Compare traditional sales to REO and short sales. Question: are there any statistics for not receiving an offer in 30 days, for example? So in other words, how many of those sales didn't get an offer in the first 30 days? That's an interesting question. I don't have that, and I don't think the program is going to be able to generate that for you. What most programs will, and even in the MLS, as I'm thinking of the MLS, even in the MLS, they'll be looking for, you know, you'll be looking for, you know, how many properties went pending in 30 days, but you don't know if an offer came in the first 30 days that didn't come together and create a contract. So that's a good question, Daniel, and I don't have the answer to that. So let's take a look at my lender mediated report. So what lender mediated report refers to is, it refers to, you know, how many transactions has the lender been involved in, you know, as far as maybe a foreclosure or a trustee sale or things like that. So here, and I think this number this is really, look at the numbers. I mean, and of course, and right now, and you have to remember, they're not allowed to foreclose, right? Which is kind of, you know, it's like putting it back on the lender. They've got to hold on to their inventory at this point in time when they'd really like to get rid of it. At the same time, there's certain people that are just, you know, living without making payments. And I want to make the distinction between loan forgiveness and loan forbearance. So right now we have loan forbearance. Forbearance merely means that, you know, you're going to have to come to grips with it at some point. There's going to have to be a solution that's created. I have kind of my suspicions of a couple of different things that may happen, like extending the life of the loan, or adding the money to the back end of the loan, like the old negative AMs, you know, that kind of thing. You know, I think that's going to accomplish the same result. But obviously at this point right now, there is loan forbearance, and for the people, and not forgiveness now. Forgiveness is a whole different thing. Loan forgiveness means you don't have to make the payment. No, same kind of thing applies in rent forgiveness versus rent forbearance. You know, at some point we've got to pay the piper, as we say. And so the tenants that are not paying rent right now, and not having that problem in any of our properties, tenants are making their payments. And so, but I'm sure it is happening out there, people taking advantage. You can't even get, you know, I think the courts just opened up again last week, but you couldn't even get a court date to do an unlawful detainer, and you need a court date to do that. So that's gone quite some time without it. And of course, now with the shutdown coming back again, so we seem to keep bouncing in and out of the shutdown. Maybe, you know, if we, you know, and I don't agree with the shutdown, but okay. But anyway, the attempt is to try to keep this from getting out of hand. So, but look at my graph. When I'm looking at my lender mediated properties, it shows that this is, you know, there were 7,000 of these back in 2012. And by the way, we knew that in January, this is in May of 2012, January of 2012 was when the lights came back on. In '09, the market had started to level again, so we had some depreciation before that, between August of '05 and January of '09. But in January of '09, very clearly the market was level, and then we started to see upticks. You know, there's always going to be that area that's not seeing the uptick. But January of 12, I mean, I had judges calling me and saying, "What is going on?" And I don't know. I mean, when you're in the middle of it, you have no idea it's going to come out looking like this, right? And so it's like, wow, you know, people were able to get their money back out of their homes again. They were starting to sell them for profit. There was such a thing called equity, you know, those kinds of things. And so this graph says it all. I mean, look at the numbers on this, okay? So here's my statistics again, along with the explanation. I like that. My lender mediated properties report. Here's my inventory of homes for sale. Look at my single family homes between June of last year and June of this year, down 49%. Well, of course, because they can't foreclose, so it's half, right? My traditional sales are down 50%, so almost the same number. And then my total market conditions are going to be roughly about that again as well. So we have a roughly the same 9.8% share of lender mediated activity. So fascinating numbers. I think it's coming. And if you want my interpretation of this, we have a bankruptcy attorney who's a broker with us, and he's been telling me all along, watch out for the wave because it's going to be a big one. So if you weren't doing short sales before, now's a good time to learn how to do those. And if you weren't doing REOs before, now's a good time to learn how to do those. And I know a couple of brokers who are ahead of the curve, already planning for what they think is going to happen in that market. I don't quite agree that it's going to be a total disaster. I just think that it's going to, you know, it's definitely the fact that we're not, we just put everything to a halt, I think is going to be an issue, but I don't think it's going to be a disaster. But anyway, it'd be good for all of us, right? We don't care, market going up, market going down. We just want to be in the middle of the transaction. That's all. Okay. All right. I mean, I feel for my clients that, you know, aren't able to sell their homes, but I also feel for my clients that are able to sell their homes. And so, you know, when I look at that data, again, I just want to be in the middle of it. Okay. New listings and closed sales. You know, here's my new, you know, my reds in my year to year. So this is going to be on the left side, June of last year, on the right side, June of this year. And then, okay, all right. And then my bouncing ball, my historical new listing activity, my historical closed sales activities. But look at my numbers. I'm sorry, look at my lender numbers. So here, the red is the activity, the traditional market. The blue is the lender mediated market. It's almost non-existent. Okay, so let's see. I thought I saw a question there. Nope. Okay. All right. Let me see here. So my historical closed activity, again, the bouncing ball versus the lenders down to almost nothing. Median sales price of the lender mediated properties here versus the traditional properties. So the lender mediated properties, median sales price down 2.8%. And again, the fact that they haven't been able to foreclose is affecting those numbers. And then finally, my traditional sales about 3.1%. Went a little bit too fast on that one. Days on the market until sale. So in my lender mediated, the number of days on the market is a little bit less. There's some people like to buy houses that are bank owned. The traditional sales 7.1%. Again, fascinating numbers. I did see another question, and I thought I saw another question. Uh-oh. Maybe it went someplace else. Okay. All right. I do want to get back and show you again how to do the personal page. Here's my property report. Again, this is my data, inventory, and closed sales by area. So, if you're living in Chula Vista, here you got your Chula Vista zip codes, total on the market. This is the total number of inventory. Here, this is the total number of lender mediated inventory. Look at this Chula Vista with nothing there. Okay, and then here's my statistics on whether it's up or down. And question, when do you think we'll feel the ripple effect of foreclosures and reduced buyers, given how many businesses that will be going out of business? You know what, Daniel, you're right. I'm kind of saddened by that. A soup plantation went out of business, and there've been a bunch of places that have gone that are not going to reopen. And this is across the country. This is not just in San Diego. This is across the country. Businesses that are not going to be able to recover from that, and it's mostly the smaller businesses that haven't figured out how to get the loans and things like that. But what'll be the ripple effect on foreclosures? Listen, if you close your business and you can't make your mortgage payment at a time when the mortgage payments will be required again, we're going to have a problem. You have to go get, like I was talking to Linda this morning about, you got to go get a job. And it's like, right now we've had an amazing thing happen as far as new licensees entering in the market. So, in the real estate industry, the Department of Real Estate was closed. Everybody was working from home. I know, I talked to Veronica. Everybody was working from home, and they weren't testing anybody. We went months. They only just started doing testing again, and I don't know if they've shut it down again because of the governor's order, but they at one point there weren't doing any testing. Now, like we just somebody made a comment yesterday in our executive committee meeting, there were like 4 new realtors that joined the association. They're like the 4 that got through, to get their testing, and so and passing the exam. So there's a lot of this is going to have impacts on us that we don't even know yet. But if you've gone out of business, you still got to eat, right? And I think the job market, I'm really amazed at what is going on in the job market. I mean, I can't believe the resurgence of jobs. People want to work. I have to believe Trump when he says it. I think people want to work, right? And so basically, and I'm saying that very globally, obviously, but they're going to have to at some point. Nadine, oh, hi Nadine, you made it in. Do you happen to have any recommendations on sources where we can learn more about how to handle short sale transactions? Yeah, I might be it. That's a good question, Nadine. Yeah, I mean, you can Google it, but here's the challenge. It's the stuff you see in the media that just makes me insane, right? I mean, it's like, I'll tell you real world what happens, and how we do those. So I always tell everybody, when you start talking about short sale, you really mean long sale. Short sale refers to the fact that the encumbrances against the property exceed the value. It's not a question of how long the transaction is going to last. That's and we do a lot of them. Hook me up offline. Hook me up. I can't say that. Send me an email and I'll chat with you about it. But there are some really good resources out there. And I know some brokers that are really taking advantage of this right now, and not taking advantage of others, but taking advantage of the market that's coming. And I think you would be well served to spend some time on it. But even in our market, which oh, thank you, Elena. I mean, I got to tell you something. How many agents have I talked to who have said, I won't do a short sale? And I'm going, I thought we're supposed to be helping people, right? I don't get it. I won't do a short sale. Well, there's people that need you, okay? And the people that need somebody who cares, somebody who's professional, that will help them with these things. And I think that's our duty. I really do. Hey, Albert. It's like romper room. Thank you, Albert. Good to see you, buddy. Or I can't see you, but you can see me. But I'm going to tell you something. The short sales. Speaking of the last short sale, Albert and I did a short sale together. Wasn't my last one. I've done a couple of them recently. But let me tell you something. Short sales are a good source of money, and some of us here on this program today will tell you it's a good source of money. Listen, deal with the market as you have it. One of our saving graces is that we're adjustable. we adjust. So make sure that you're adjusting, because there's going to be some changes. I'm not sure they're going to be bad changes. I think there's just going to be some changes, but that's our job. Every day we get up and we don't know what we're going to be facing, right? I get up every morning thinking, oh, this is so great. I'll get a whole new life, you know, that kind of thing. Can you say or type in your email address? You know, that's a really good question. Now, if I type in answer live, what does that do? You would like to answer this question live. Oh, wow. Okay. No. All right. Let me pull up a document for you so you can see it. One of the easiest ways is going to be to go to my website. So our website is Burke Real Estate Consultants.com. You know, it's so funny because I had a call this morning. You know, I sleep between 1 and 4, right? So, you know, it's never just call me, okay? Because the telephone works all the time. It's just that the ringer is turned off. So when I'm sleeping, you can't wake me up. So don't worry about it. You know, just call or send me an email. So here's my website. Let me click on that really quick and hopefully, okay, there it is. So it's Burke Real Estate Consultants. I just gave you that for the spelling purposes, but you can send me an email. It's going to be kevin@burkerealestateconsultants.com. That's going to be my email address, kevin@burkerealestateconsultants.com. I didn't have the foresight to pull up my PowerPoint on this computer yet. I apologize for that. That actually would have it all typed out for you, but that's the easiest way to get a hold of me, kevin@burkerealestateconsultants.com. So let's take a look from where we were. I want to finish this up because I know you're going to be anxious to get back to your lives, but let me see here. Thank you, Cecile. Thank you. But please send me an email. Listen, I want to help you. You know, there's nobody should be suffering in this market. Okay, I mean, this is a good market. It doesn't matter who you are. People say to me, well, how's the market? And that's going to be the #1 question people are going to ask you. And the answer is always, it's out of control. I can't believe how good it is, right? My market is good. I don't know what's happening to others, but I just know my market is really good. And I have agents in our office that are making really good money right now that weren't making it before in a different market. So, you know, they're adjusting and we're all kind of adjusting. And that's what my advice would be, is adjust with the market, learn new things. If you're quiet right now, now's a good time to be learning new things. And this is an example of that, okay, is doing webinars. SDR has a lot of really good webinars. I have an email list, by the way, that I'll add you to it if you want it. Want to be on it, but I send out an email once a week of all of my webinars, which are usually Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So like today we've got Faststats this afternoon at 1 o'clock. We'll pick up on the RPA, and I mean, we drill into it probably deeper than you would ever want to know. But send me an email. I'm not going to put you on the list unless you ask me to do it. I got hundreds of people on there. I had thousands of people on it before, but you know, I started a new list. You know, a lot of people, you know, move companies, don't tell me their email addresses, stuff like that. So I just start over again. I got hundreds of people on there, and listen, I send this out once a week. I include a direct link to all my webinars, so all you have to do is click on the link. You don't have to go through 25 pages trying to find it. You just click on the one link, and it takes you right in there. So like today's webinar, you would go to the newsletter, you would see the link to the RPA, you would click on it, and it would open it up in your browser, and you'd be all set and ready to go. Okay, but I'm going to start putting in little tidbits of information. For example, I had a really good conversation with another agent who's been in the business only 40 years. I've got 41, so I got her beat by a year. But we started talking about transaction coordinators and you know, and the Department of Real Estate's position on these things. So we started talking about teams. You know, we got into some pretty good conversation. And again, you know, I love the Department of Real Estate. I'm real close with them. Good group of people. I'm not, you know, kissing butt. I'm just saying that they're just a good group of people. They're just doing their job like everybody else. But you know what? You know, for some reason we're afraid of that. We're afraid of getting sued, right? And so, you know, I go to court a lot. I love going to court, but I'm getting paid good money to be there. So back to my presentation here. But if you want to get on the newsletter, send me an email, kevin@burkerealestateconsultants.com. Here's the website again, so that you've got the spelling. There's the logo, okay, burkerealestateconsultants.com. All right, and I'll put you on the newsletter. I'll send you a copy of this week's if you want the link to this afternoon's webinar. So back to my graph here, inventory and closed sales by area. as I'm running out of time. So I can dial it in, pick a zip code, folks. You know, if one of these is going to be yours, right? I'm assuming you're living here in San Diego. Here's my lender mediated report. Again, the inventory and closed sales by areas. Okay, so you know, you can see we've got some increases in some areas, but other areas are just never going to see them. So as I've said before, you know, it's like Del Mar. We don't have a whole lot of foreclosures in Del Mar because you got to have a mortgage in order to have a foreclosure. So it's an interesting comment to make at the same time that we do have foreclosures in Del Mar. Here you go. There's what is this? 8 lender mediated, 20 lender mediated. So we have that happening as well. Some of those are going to be strategic. So when I'm talking to you about short sales, I'm going to tell you that some of the short sales are strategic defaults. And again, that could be illegal. I can't tell you for sure because I'm not a practicing attorney, but you know, I want to tell you that some of them are contrived. Median sales prices by areas. Look at Del Mar, 1.5 million. The foreclosures sell for almost as much. Look at that. Okay. All right. Median sales price by area again. Okay. So, so hopefully this is helpful to you. Let me, I think I'm going to finish that one off. Let me pull up my chart again. So remember, I got all 4 of these: local market updates, monthly indicators, housing supply overview, and lender mediated reports I got by going to this link on the SDAR website. Again, I can click on any of these to get to the same place. Right down here, anonymous, right here where it says custom branding instructions. I clicked on this and here now it opens. Okay, so here are my custom branding instructions. You all should be doing this. These are professionally done graphics. And what are they recommending here? It is Adobe Pro, Acrobat Pro 11. I think that was the last really good program that Adobe put together. That's just my personal opinion, but these are great things to have: how to place your image in there, how to do all that kind of stuff. Listen, make it your own. We're telling you, you can do that. You know, we didn't put the link on there to you know, tell you don't do it. We put the link and make it look like it came from you. And you know, right now the link says, the logo says SDAR on it. Just replace your logo with where the SDAR logo is. Okay. All right. Okay. Any other questions about any of the material that we've covered today? Boy, I really want to thank you for taking so much time out of your day to be here with me. I'm honored by that. I just am amazed at how many people are on this video, and hopefully you got something out of it. So Moasir, I can't do anything with this screen, so thank you. That's a good point. Can you send me an email, kevin@burkerealestateconsultants.com? Let's see if I can do it this way. Kevin at Burke, can you all see that? Oh, you can't see this. Nope, you can't see it anyway. Darn it. Okay, all right, never mind. Well, maybe you can. Send me an email, and I will be more than happy to looks like I sent you an email privately there. I will be more than happy to send you the web newsletter webinar with links. How can I find this information for other areas of California? Example, Riverside. Brittany, that's a really good question. You know what? Can you send me an email and I'll find out how you can do that? Okay, send me an email, kevin@burkerealestateconsultants.com. Thank you, Gina. Thank you for being here. Thank you all for being here. I'm so honored by your presence. I really am. And I do look forward to seeing you, you seeing me, I guess, at 1 o'clock this afternoon when we're going to drill into the RPA. I think we're on paragraph 22 to 24, but we've been just killing it. I mean, you walk out of this going, wow, I had no idea that's what that said. Wednesday, we did the buyer representation agreement. You know, we're really having a good time with all this. So please tell others that you know about us. And I'm trying to build up my list of people that I'm sending the email to because I want to start including little legal tidbits. Thank you, Sharon. That's so kind of you. And some little comments and sidebars are very important. Yeah, right. They sometimes I think they're just important to me, but hopefully they find a good home with you as well. But again, thank you all for being here today. I got to knock off because it's 2 o'clock and I'm not supposed to go after, or I'm sorry, 11 o'clock. I'm not supposed to go over, but I look forward to seeing you hopefully again today at 1 o'clock. And again, if you want the newsletter, or if you want if I can help you with anything, again, I'll pull up the other page, Kevin at BurkeRealEstateConsultants.com. That's all you got to do. Okay. Thank you all for being here, and I wish you the very best. And in your hey, Michael. Hey, buddy. Oh, wow. That's so cool. Thanks for being here. Thank you, Daniel. Wow, Michael. Wow, dude. Okay, all right, Gina. Thank you. Can you send me an email list of your courses? I lose this screen, Gina. When I close this Zoom, I lose all of this, so I can't see it. Can you send me an email, Kevin at BurkeRealEstateConsultants.com? I'd be more than happy to add you to it. But literally, they block me out. When I close it, I lose it all. And I want you to be able to get that list of courses. So thank you, Gina. Thank you, Michael. Great to see you, buddy. Anyway, thank you all for being here. Y'all are wonderful. Polly Rogers. Oh my God, that's so cool. All right. Hey, everybody. Have a good day today, and hopefully I get to see you at 1 o'clock. Okay, y'all take care for now. All right. Bye-bye.